Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Israel's war on Gaza reaches day 207. That's right. We are doing our nightly Gaza update, and tragically, the Gaza update has gone to day 207. That's way over 6 months, entering very close to 7 months of a genocidal war on the Gaza Strip that mainstream media and corporate media refuses to fully tell the story about. And so that's why we're here. And we're going to tell the story about what's going on in Gaza, give you the most information that we have at the moment. And we begin that information with the bodies. I hate to be that crude, I hate to be that blunt, but at this point, we have to talk about the fact that this war hasn't just been a diplomatic nightmare. It's not just a political crisis. This is a full-fledged genocide that has resulted in the death of so many Palestinian people, more than 34,000 people. In fact, the exact number as of this moment is 34,535 Palestinians who have been killed, and also 77,704 Palestinians who have been injured in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. Again, 34,535 killed, 77,704 wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. The death toll in Israel is something we also keep track of. But to be perfectly frank, the number doesn't change. The death toll in Israel from Hamas's October 7th attacks, after it was adjusted, remains at 1,139. That is the number. And it's understandable that the number hasn't gone up. It was based on the October 7th attack. But the number of Palestinians who have died in the ostensible response to October 7 grows. And it grows every day. Every single day, the number gets higher. And last night was no exception. We are seeing extraordinary levels of violence in Rafah, in Gaza City. We are seeing not just the violence, but also the threat of mass violence, wide-scale violence. Israel at this moment continues to promise, not imply, not consider, but Benjamin Netanyahu has made it very clear today, and I'll talk about this in night school, which will begin in just 5 minutes. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israeli forces will enter Rafah. They will engage in a ground invasion of Rafah. And he says that even if a ceasefire deal is reached with Hamas, that is to say, even if there's a pause, because clearly it's not a permanent ceasefire, even if a short-term deal is met, even if a pause is met, he wants to be very clear that under no circumstances will Israel not be invading Rafah, which of course is the southern city in Gaza that right now has 1.5 million people. There's 2.2 million in the whole territory, and 1.5 million of them are in Rafah. That's a city that's built or constructed to hold maybe 250,000 people. 250,000 is 1.5. So it's dense, it's highly populated. The people there have been displaced, and he's threatening a ground invasion that promises to be a human rights nightmare. In fact, the UN chief, Antonio Guterres, warns that an Israeli assault on Rafah would be a, quote, unbearable escalation that would be, quote, devastating for Palestinians in Gaza and the wider region. He said the simplest truth is that a ground operation in Rafah will be nothing short of a tragedy beyond words. No humanitarian plan can counter that. That quote is actually from Martin Griffiths, excuse me. He's the UN Undersecretary for Humanitarian Affairs. None of that seems to be affecting the Israeli government. Or perhaps it is, perhaps knowing that it'll be a humanitarian crisis, knowing that thousands more will be displaced, knowing that many would be permanently removed from the Gaza Strip. Maybe those are that's the point. And of course, in addition, about an hour ago, right here in the United States, we've seen an escalation of Gaza protests. Police have entered the campus of Columbia University, where students have been encamped since April 17th. Columbia Students for Justice in Palestine, that's the SJP at Columbia, said that police were wearing riot gear and that multiple blocks have been barricaded off. Mayor Eric Adams said the protest must end now in a joint news conference with the New York police chief. We will keep you updated. In fact, night school begins in just 2 minutes, and we will give you all the updates. But it's not the only place where we've seen this. University of Southern Florida has had these similar issues. We've seen mass arrests at every place from University of Pennsylvania to University of Texas, Austin, to Northeastern University. We have so many moments in the last week that speak to state repression and violence against Palestinian protesters and pro-Palestinian protesters. And so we're going to continue to cover it. We're going to continue to give you all the updates. 16 people were arrested at the University of New Mexico. So many things happening. But no matter how much we talk about these protests, and we should, we never want to lose sight of the fact that at the core of all of this, is a genocide in Gaza. And that's why every day we give you these updates. So please stay with me as I cover these stories every single day, as I give you all this information every single day. Let's stay covered. Here's what I want to do. And Kara Clark mentioned, you're right, City College is another place where, and in fact, I'm a CUNY faculty member, and shout out to the CUNY students and the City College students in particular who have been courageously standing up for justice and speaking out at their encampment. I plan to go there on Thursday to visit, to talk to them, to stand in solidarity with them. So let's get it. ¿Qué más? That's it, y'all. It's time for night school. So for those watching right now, immediately after we end this, and we will end this in a moment. And by the way, shout out to the Wanderer who just became a channel member. Shout out to Zencat who just gifted us 5 channel memberships. As we exit here in the Gaza update, we're going right into night school. So please log over to night school. We got a lot to cover. We're going to talk about the Columbia University protests in particular. We're going to talk about the University of New Mexico protests. We are going to talk about Eric Adams' role in all of this. We're going to talk about Netanyahu's decision to invade Gaza or Rafah, regardless. We're going to talk about all of it tonight on Night School, as well as some domestic stuff with the GOP. We got stuff going on with marijuana reform. Night School is covering a wide range of issues, including Gaza, but not only Gaza. So stay with me, y'all. Head over there. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the join button if you want to become a monthly subscriber. Most important thing you can do right now is head over to Night School as we get this thing going. Appreciate y'all. Peace.